Okay, so one after effect of we're gonna call it the Kanye effect at this point.
The Kanye effect.
And it's just how everyone else is perceived now after this big Kanye debacle, because mainstream media seems to really want to paint him as like the supervillain, right? Which I don't think he really is. I'm not supporting Kanye by any measure. I'm just saying we got to keep things a buck across the whole horizon here. But the Kanye effect affected Kyrie Irving recently here. I said here like he in my city. Recently here.
Recently here in time.
In time. There you go. So he ends up putting out this tweet about, and dang, I forgot the name of the documentary. Do you know what it's called? And there's a documentary that's on Amazon that he ends up retweeting, right? And I think it's one of those black people are the real Jew type of documentaries. He simply retweeted it. I don't think he owns it. I don't think he had a hand in creating it. He only retweeted the thing, and the backlash has been overwhelmingly unfair toward him. And now the Nets won't, before they suspended him without pay, I think. And they're saying before he can come back, I got it somewhere. Before he can come, right, you know exactly what they want him to do?
Yeah, apologize, condemn the movie, $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, wow. Anti-Semitic training, wow. Meet with ADL Jewish leaders, meet with Joe Zay maybe, or Tay, to demonstrate understanding. Wow,
I thought it was
wow,
Josiah.
wow.
Was it Josiah?
Josiah. Okay, maybe Sai. To demonstrate understanding. Wow, 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 wow.
That's a lot, because
they've been trying to silence Kyrie ever since, I want to say, the vaccine?
I want to say that too. Which, as much as even on this show, we were going from the mainstream, notably with the vaccine, where we were like, we're not sure it actually came from a leak in China, I think it was. Apparently, we were bamboozled on that one because it actually did. So, wow, right? Who knew? Hard to trust with. It's kind of hard, and I'm not being anti-vaccine. I took the vaccine. I'm just saying that apparently we were wrong on that. But anyway, we're talking about Kyrie.
People
right now,
were losing their jobs and everything over that. But I want to say I felt like that was the earliest. But even before then, Kyrie wasn't like conforming to the way that I feel like they wanted him to think. So, or act in that manner, and he's the complete opposite, and they've just been trying to figure out a way to just get rid of him, I guess. So what other way but to seem like he's standing in solidarity with Kanye?
Yeah.
And right on the heels, because I want to say what the Kanye thing popped off about 2 weeks ago.
About 3 weeks
this
ago.
past week.
Yeah.
So it's like boom, boom, boom. And like you said, he didn't say anything. He just retweeted. And then they tried to put him in the trick bag when they was asking him after the game. And he was like, why are we talking about this? We're supposed to be talking about basketball.
Right. And then he was like, didn't he apologize already?
I do believe he had already apologized. But, like, it's too much. It's really too much. There's something I want to say about for the black man, but I'm going to leave that for closer to the end. So, yeah.
I want to say the NBA has a history of this. As a fan, and y'all know I love my Lakers, man. But as a fan, I feel like the NBA has a history of silencing those people, or attempting to silence those people who doesn't completely conform to what they want them to conform in whatever moment it is. I mean, look at what happened to AI, or back in the day when they wanted the players to dress a certain type of way or do a certain type of thing. You know, the hip hop culture was taking over, and they didn't like that. Let's say it that way. So they wanted to silence the movement. You know, so because they didn't find it acceptable. The league was black enough, I guess. I don't know. But this thing that's happening to Kyrie, I think is unfair. I think it's overblown. And anytime you say something against that community, it seems like it's just taken to the max on like the smallest of infractions. And even with Kanye and Kyrie, even though these situations are totally different, it seems like they are being handled the same exact way.
Yeah.
And y'all know Kyrie not doing all that, by the way.
I haven't watched the movie myself, but from what I do understand, it's like the movie itself is definitely anti-Semitic, because they're like saying terrible things like the Holocaust never existed and things like that. So I can understand the hurt and the anger from the movie itself.
Yeah.
But it's on Amazon. No one is talking about, oh, I'm going to unsubscribe from Amazon for having this on their platform. Because you can buy it on Amazon. I'm not going to unsubscribe from Amazon. I'm not going to sue. I don't know who the owner is now, but
Jeff Bezos is still has 10% of the company, which
he could get sued
too.
Throw him in there too. No one is saying these things. You know, no one said that part. No one said anything about the production company. No one said anything about the writers for the movie. It's the simple fact that he retweeted a tweet.
What if he was just retweeting it? You know how we share stuff like, okay, this for me later, so I can remember to go back and
watch it or something. Yeah,
you know, he was probably at work. You know, he was probably on the court,
or just for a
moment.
conversation starter.
Or a conversation starter. Like, it could have been anything.
People got to get out their feelings with this whole everything I retweet is how I feel. I retweet and share a lot of things. That doesn't mean that that's what I feel. But then
because
that
he has
goes
money.
to show how much social media has so much of an influence, supposedly, on our real lives. A lot of people are merging social media into our real lives, and it's not the same thing.
It's not
the same.
There are things
because
that
if that's
I see
the case,
on social media that I wouldn't even take 10 seconds to look at in real life.
Because if that's the case, we would be living all in an understanding, happy-go-lucky, joyful space.
Like, for a lot of us, we don't even know what anti-Semitism is.
I'm still trying to put a grasp on it at this point.
Right?
At this point.
You know, I thought it was just one thing. I thought
it was one thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to think it's a whole other thing.
It's starting to feel like...
What's the Oxford definition of it?
Look that up. Because right now, it's starting to feel like anytime you say the word Jew and you put anything negative behind it...
Anything negative, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, hold up.
I can see if it was something, if the negativity was something that was condemning it and just like speaking, like, I don't know.
Like people were getting upset because people said the Jewish people own a lot of entertainment, a lot of places where, you know, a lot of banks and stuff like that, and they run the world. I'm like, that's anti-Semitic? I didn't know. But somebody is whole heated arguments between blue checks and news sites and everything that's saying, yes, it is. I'm like, man, This is confusing. And if there are any Jewish people watching this, please explain it to us. I'll let you. This is our season finale, by the way. So
we'll have to do a special episode if it's before season 7 premiere.
But if there's a chance we can have a better understanding and a clarification of what it is, by all means, hit me up. I will love to have this conversation because I want to have a better understanding. You know how we do here. We want to understand.
We want to understand. There you go. Anti-Semitism in the Oxford Dictionary is uncountable hates towards or unfair treatment of Jews. So,
okay. So is it?
I don't think anybody said anything hateful.
Yeah. So is there anything hateful about pointing out that they own a lot of stuff?
Is that hateful? Is it hateful to say that a different type of person was that your type of person first? When a lot of people already believe that this one type of person were the first people of all? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to.
Yeah, let's not go to the whole. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for this.
I'm just saying, because I'm just saying, a lot of people do believe in that. Altogether, the whole big spectrum. So it's like a little bit hypocritical if you say you believe in that, but then I don't know. I'm not going to say it. I ain't going to say it.
So I was in a live right the other day on TikTok, and they were having. It was a bunch of it was mostly white. I don't think it was a black person in the conversation actually, but they were talking about Christianity and Judaism, and it was a 100% Jewish man in there, and he was explaining some of the things they believe and what they don't believe, and the conversation was going really pleasant until that one Christian guy, or I think he was like a converted Jew, but he believed in Jesus. It was confusing for me because the other guy was like, we don't believe in Jesus. I didn't know that. So he was like, don't tell me how to be a Jew. And the thing, why he was making his argument of why people shouldn't tell him how to walk in his faith, which I agree with. You can't tell. That's what the other guy did. You can't tell a person how to walk in their faith. It's very.
You can't.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
You can't. You can't.
So
that's their own personal choice. You can't tell anybody how to do that.
Yeah, especially when you've been studying it all your life. Like, hold on, player, you've been on this earth 10 years. You trying to tell me something I've been studying for 30? Get out of here. But he said that I think it's the mother side. Like, if your mother was a Jew, then you're a real Jew. But if your father was the only Jewish person and, like, say he married a black woman, like, I don't think that counts. So I'm like, that is such a confusing thing because usually it's like the opposite when it comes down to these things that's passed down genetically. And I say that to say this because in the comment section right now, we got Kevin in here. What's happening, Kev? Good to see you again. And he said, Judaism is a religion, right?
That's a religion. That's a religion.
But, you know, even the Christian Bible talks about Jewish people and the whole war in between who is the real Jewish people. So this is still an ongoing thing even after all these years.
I got another definition. I got two more definitions for you right
Do you
quick.
think? Let's hear them.
This is from Merriam-Webster. Hostility toward or discrimination against Jews as a religious, ethnic, or racial group. And then when you just search it by itself, Google Dictionary is they say from Oxford Languages, hostility to or prejudice against Jewish people. So
okay, it sounds like anything could literally be, from what you just said and how I'm interpreting it. It literally sounds like anything. Could be anti-Semitism. Like, and I can say, oh man, did you know that Jews own 90% of the world? They don't. I'm just using the number of people.
Yes.
But then if I come out and say, and then if I come, that's fine. But if I come out and say, Jews own like 90% of the damn world, anti-Semitism. Is that what it is? Like, if I say it in a nice way. I think
so.
If I say it in a nice way, not anti-Semitism. But if I say it in a negative way.
I think so. If there's some hostility behind it, if anything negative behind it, anti-Semitism. I can't say it too many times.
Anti-Semitism,
I can't say the words too many times.
I feel like we said it way too many times now.
We have. It's anti-Semitic. Anything that's negative.
So do you think this is this is going back into is the black man under siege conversation?
Yes.
We need to round this out. Do you think this is the media wanting just another version of a race war? Because I've heard that around certain circles too.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Because
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say as much as a race war, because I don't think us as a people, we would rage against any other war when we're warring against ourselves. But I definitely think that they are under siege. I really do think that the black man is under attack, and I definitely think that we're being silenced one by one. Yes, most definitely. Let's see how the numbers go on this episode here. You know, just the way that is named and what the content that we're going to put out behind this. Let's just see how far it goes. You know, we've been doing pretty good, you know, these past couple of months. But just because it's this conversation, just because we're even asking the question, just because we're even trying to find some understanding behind it, where are we going to get the answers? How far are we going to go?
I know who ain't got the answers, though.
Sway
Ain't got the answers.
I knew he was about to say that.
Kanye should have never gave me that nugget, man. It's my favorite thing to say.
It's very unfortunate, and I feel like a lot of us that I know, a lot of our peer groups and everything, and even just growing up with different types of people, I know for a fact that the black man was just a lackluster character. I can say in today's time, the black man definitely has stepped up in a lot of different ways, you know. Yeah, there are still some things that, I mean, no one's perfect, but there are still some things that a lot of people are like saying is not happening with the black man. But you have your individuals. But yes, I do think that it's a war against black men, from wanting to fight each other, wanting to kill each other, unalive each other, to when we're out here in the media, we can't say too many things the wrong way because we're going to be silenced, you know, to the whole Kanye Kyrie thing. So I just felt like had Leonardo DiCaprio said something like that, it would never happen. I don't know.
I think you might be right.
It just would have never happened. Like, somebody made a valid point the other day. South Park has been making jokes about the Jewish people since I've been alive.
If there were the most Jewish jokes I've ever seen came from South Park. Let's just be honest here. Let's be honest. Black people, okay, I'm not saying there's not a cluster of us that talk about this stuff, but by and large, we kind of don't care. Like, the only reason we're talking about this is because Kyrie and Kanye has been in the news for it, and we feel like, dang, this is overblown as hell.
Yeah.
You know? And that's basically our opinion on the thing overall. It's like, it happened, great. Not great, but it happened. We understand that it happened, but it shouldn't be like, this shouldn't be the main topic. Where's the Brett Favre outrage?
Where is the
Has
Brett
anybody
Favre
answered
outrage?
Y'all got me out here on YouTube and on our show agreeing with Jason Whitlock that the blame should not be on Kyrie Irving for reposting a retweet. The blame should definitely be on Amazon. Now, I'm not saying it was Jeff Bezos.
Where is the Brett Favre news?
Yeah. Now listen.
Where is the money?
I want to say this real quick because I need people to understand. I'm not blaming Jeff Bezos. Let me tell you how making a successful business works from what I've studied. Okay. You have a company. You literally hire people to do a job. Jeff Bezos is not sitting in his office like, release this documentary. I'm not saying he hasn't done that when it gets to him, but by the time this stuff gets all the way to him, it's pretty much already out in the world because he doesn't make micro decisions. He's only 10% of the company. He's not involved in the main part anymore. Like, he let that go. Mm-hmm. So there's a department for Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. Those are the people you need to take it up with. The people that signed on to take this documentary, the people that approved it, that didn't go through it, that didn't really vet to see what it was. That is where your ire should be, not at Kyrie. So redistribute your anger away from Kyrie. He shouldn't have to apologize for a retweet, people, especially if there was no context behind that retweet. Now, as far as Brett Favre goes, I'm gonna need y'all to find that money. I'm gonna need y'all to get Mississippi up the code.
Where's the money?
We're going into a recession. We have a Fed that's literally about to kickstart or trying to kickstart more interest rates. We can't afford that because they want you to go back into the workforce.
Where's the money?
Normal everyday jobs. So find that money for Mississippi. Make Brett Favre the person you are angry at right now, because I feel like that is a way more important situation than if Kanye said something to piss some people off on Monday. I mean, the man didn't apologize.
Where's the money?
Whether you like his apology or not, he did. He apologized. We got to move on from it. We got to move on from this conversation. And we are going to move, unless a person comes through and says, hey, we want to talk about, we saw your content and we want to explain this whole anti-Semitism thing on your show. Unless that happens, we ain't bringing this up no more. Unless something else happens to Kyrie, because at this point, I'm on Kyrie watch. Because
I'm
I feel
definitely
like
on Kyrie watch.
He's been, lack of a better term, crucified for something that is unwarranted at this point.
There is one more.
He apologized for it.
Do have to talk about though.